Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Hope everyone's doing fantastic. Yes, it's another one. We're back. Well, I'm back for episode 4 of Random Football. If you're listening on the podcast, don't forget to give me a review. That really helps the podcast get into charts and, get seen or heard by other people. If you're on YouTube, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'm really enjoying doing this new show. I get to talk about different things around the football world, and it lets me express my opinion a bit more than just sticking to maybe Chelsea, for example. Speaking of Chelsea, today we're going to get into a few Chelsea things, or maybe one thing specific to Chelsea, but we have loads of other football stuff to talk about. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So looking at what is going on in the world of football today, in episode 4, we're first going to kick off with Raheem Sterling, who is basically going to sign for Chelsea any minute now, any second now. It's gonna happen. It is what it is. I at first, when the news came out, I wasn't a big fan of it because I think that what the attributes that Raheem Sterling has is something that we already have in the Chelsea football squad. Speed, the dribbling ability, and on all of that. I just think that some of the players that we've had or that we have just aren't stepping up to the plate. One big issue that I had with Raheem Sterling was his ability to miss pretty open chances, which we already have this problem at Chelsea. So I didn't think that bringing someone on like that would really help the team, would really help, us move forward, because I think chance creation wise, this Chelsea team has enough players to create the chances and make sure that it goes into the back of the net. That's actually the problem, is putting it into the back of the net. We create a lot, but we don't finish off those chances. And I feel like someone like Raheem Sterling is only adding to the problem and not fixing the problem. But looking at, his stats recently in the past 4 or 5 years, he's pretty high in his finishing. And also another thing, I think at Man City, you get this collaboration of forwards going together. There's this evolved tiki-taka type of system that goes on with Pep Guardiola's team at Man City, and I think he's probably not going to get that at Chelsea. He would need to be a bit more of the leader. I mean, he is 27. He would probably be one of the most senior players in the squad, if not the most senior player. Oh, obviously Thiago Silva's there, but he would be part of that, attack, that settling the mentality and making sure that the players know, what can come out of, being part of this winning mentality and continuing it season after season. So those are the cons in my eyes of bringing, Raheem Sterling to the bridge. But obviously there's positives. Like I said, he's going to be that voice, that leadership, especially in that front line where it's needed. He is Premier League proven. He knows what to bring for every team. Obviously, it's a World Cup year, so I'm sure in the beginning of this season he's going to be on a different level, because he obviously wants to make that World Cup team. I don't think the English team goes to the World Cup without Raheem Sterling. I mean, after Harry Kane, he's probably like the second best scorer. So it's interesting. We'll see how it goes. The transfer is happening. As a Chelsea fan, I need to support the decision. I need to support him as a player, and hopefully he has this effect on the team, and he can bring out his quality when it's needed. We're gonna need it this season, especially if we're looking at every player that we're trying to get. Someone else is coming in for Rafinha, Barcelona, De Ligt, Bayern Munich, so on and so forth. But hopefully we will have pretty good transfer window. I mean, there's still time. Obviously, it would have been great for all the players and all the transfer business to be done by now, so the team could be together. It looks like Raheem Sterling is going to do his medical today, second part of his medical, and then fly out to the US to meet up with the rest of the squad on Tuesday. So that's good, but we need defenders, and it just looks like the business is slow. But anyway, Raheem Sterling to Chelsea. The question is he a marquee signing? With his pedigree, I would have to say that he is a marquee signing. If you look at his stats, if you look at what he brought to Pep's team, what he's done under Pep, winning 4 Premier Leagues in the last 5 seasons, it's just you have to speak of him as a marquee signing. And I guess it's a kind of good start for Bowley and the team. We will just have to see how that goes. I'm not sure that Raheem Sterling is... I don't know. We will have to see. Hopefully things go well. I'm crossing fingers, and I hope that's what goes down. Moving on to another person that was heavily linked with Chelsea, Cristiano Ronaldo. Situation at Man United. It's a very strange one for United fans, I'm guessing, but I think also for football fans in general, because Cristiano Ronaldo is he is getting to the latter part of his career. Obviously, I think he's about 37 now. It looks like everything is coming to an end, and from the reports, it looks like he wants to play Champions League. He's missed the Champions League. He wants to be in the Champions League, and but unfortunately, with the type of wages that Cristiano Ronaldo is on, it's just it just looks like it's a hard sell or a hard buy for any club, really, to kind of go in and, number one, pay for him, because he's under contract at United. I think he has a year left, so teams are gonna have to pay for him because he was linked with Chelsea. Obviously, Chelsea would have to go and pay for him and give him really high wages. It looks like with the Raheem Sterling situation, Todd Bowley is kind of open to giving players what they want, 300k, which Raheem Sterling probably wouldn't have gotten under Roman Abramovich. So it's interesting to see how Todd Bowley is changing things around, and how the wage the wage aspects of things are changing at the football club. So 300k makes sense, but 500, because I think that's what he's at United, which is a bit ridiculous, to be honest. And I don't think that Bowley is going to risk having a player. And also, it's down to Tuchel. We've been hearing about how Tuchel is being more vocal in this transfer window about the players that he wants. So it's interesting to see. It's interesting to look at, like, would Thomas Tuchel maybe want Cristiano Ronaldo at Chelsea? I personally don't think so. I think that what Tuchel looks for up front is a mobile kind of interchangeable front three, and I think with Cristiano Ronaldo there, a lot of the work is going to fall on the other players, because there's some things that he's just not going to be able to do. And a big part of Tuchel's game is the pressing, how we press after we lose the ball in the opposition's half. So I don't think it works out. But then who does he go to? Who else has the money to bring in a Cristiano Ronaldo? Bayern Munich have said that they're not interested. Does he go back to Real Madrid? Are Real Madrid really interested? I mean, Benzema at right now is the main man. Is he gonna want? I don't know. It's a very weird situation. But to be honest, I think Cristiano Ronaldo isn't going anywhere, especially this year. I think he's gonna be playing under what's his name? Ten Hag. But it's going to be like, there's going to be a lot of friction, because I think Ten Hag is going to want to make an example. And who is the best person to make an example out of? But at the same time, I think looking at how United players were performing last season, I think it's also important to note that Ten Hag is going to need Ronaldo at some point to come on and score the goals that haven't been scored. So it's going to be interesting to see how that goes. I really don't think Cristiano Ronaldo is leaving. I think Man United have no choice. He is trying to force a leave, but I just don't think anyone has the money for Cristiano Ronaldo. And it's crazy that we're talking about a 37-year-old player and how teams don't have the money for him, but that's the reality of the situation right now. Speaking of Ten Hag. I keep wanting to say Ten Hag. Ten Hag. Speaking of him, there was a report that came out this week that he has 5 rules that he's set on Manchester United players. And, obviously the English media is like, oh my God, it's so strange because when a coach comes in and he doesn't really have that stronghold, like Solskjaer came in and he didn't really have that oh, I'm the boss here and I'm going to make these rules and whatever. Like people were like, oh, he's going to lose the dressing room because he really he's not that kind of manager, blah, blah, blah. And then when a manager comes in and he sets, these rules and makes these changes in the club, it's like, oh, is Ten Hag doing too much and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, this United team needs this. If we talk about a minimum needs that this United team has is structure, is rules, is knowing that they're not going to get away with things that they got away with Solskjaer and Ragnick, so it's just important for people to, when having these sorts of conversations, to kind of put things into context and look at this Man United team. Look at how Rashford and what's the new guy from Dortmund who came and flopped, how all of these players, how some of the players were up here and their performance has gone down in the last season. So it looks like they need to kick up the bum, and Ten Hag is there to do so. And it looks like he is pushing his players to kind of have this type of mentality. Is it going to work? Who knows? But it's worth a try because United need it. Let's look at the rules that everyone is oh my godding about. Players will be dropped if they are late for a meeting or training, regardless of their status. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. If you're late for a meeting, you're late for training, you will be dropped. Simple as that. I think that should be something in every single team, regardless of who you are and what I don't know if you're the marquee player or you're the biggest thing to happen to the club. If you're not able to do that and and pitch up to at least a training or even an important meeting or any meeting for that sake, then you should be dropped. Then you should sit out, and next time maybe that will help you get to the meeting quicker. Who knows? Second thing, no alcohol during game weeks. Well, I don't know how he's gonna keep that from happening. I mean, I could sit at home and have some wine, get drunk, and wake up in the morning, pop 2 Advils, and be ready for practice. I don't know. I'm not seeing how that's gonna be enforced. But maybe it means no going out, no clubbing. Really, it just kind of stay at home. Who knows? Third one is use club chefs rather than personal chefs with overhauled menu. That is a bit of a strange one, to be honest, because I'm guessing that each player, if you have your personal chef, kind of has a strict diet for. I think every player has, different things that they need in order to, use less energy or more energy or gain muscle or all of these things. So it's a very strange one. But again, it's another one of these things where you're like, okay, but if this is a rule that he's put in place, he's probably put it in place because he's looked at every player that he has. He's looked at every dietary need, and they've customized every plan to each player. I mean, if not, and he's just feeding everyone like Dutch sausages, then it's a strange request. But we'll see. Monthly BMI checks. Another one. It's a good one. I guess. I mean, you're a professional sportsman. You need to keep some sort of level of fitness, some sort of body weight, and so on and so forth. So another one which is like, okay, let's calm down. It's not really that big of a deal. And then the last one is, must go to Ten Hag with problems before going to an agent. Again, it's another one where I don't think he'll be able to enforce, but it's if you look at from just a broad perspective, it is a good rule. It is one of those rules where, come to me, speak to me. I'm your coach. I'm your manager. I will listen to your problems. We can sort it out before you run to your agent, because the agent is going to look for, how do I best make money out of this situation? Is my player staying? The best thing to do, so they're not looking at it from a relationship perspective and what that does to a team. And if one player is not happy and he kind of feeds that into other players, it's an issue. So come to me, let's fix it. It just works better. I honestly, overall, I don't see a big issue with these rules that Ten Hag has put in place. I think that Man United players should look at these rules like someone who is serious, who wants this club to succeed, who wants to put United back where they've been. I mean, I grew up, during the Sir Alex Ferguson dominance of football, not just Premier League football, but football in general. So, yes, it's been fun to see, United go through this kind of like very sour spell, but at the same time, for competition, for the love of the game, for football, you want to see the top teams doing top stuff. Unless you're a Liverpool supporter, you're looking at Real Madrid winning the Champions League and you're like, yes, they're the pinnacle of the Champions League. They won another one, so my team needs to catch up. The Premier League needs to, be competitive. You need the top team, the top six, the original four. It was Arsenal, Chelsea, Man United, and Liverpool. Now you've got Man City in the mix. You have other teams coming in. So at the same time, you want the new ones to come in and show what they can do, but also you want the olds to kind of just do their part and show that we're still in this. We're still part of what makes the Premier League great, and I think that's important for United. So Ten Hag, as much as I don't want United to succeed, but I would, that's my Chelsea supporter side. But my football side wants, United back in it, United back into the mix, and making sure that they are part of the conversation. Moving on to a United, connection-y. I have nice transitions, man. I keep it's perfect this week. Potch. What happens to Potch? What's next for Potch? It didn't work out at PSG. It's one of those things that most people saw coming. He's just not fit for, the type of egos that are at PSG. I think this, Mbappe moving to Real Madrid would have been a big wake up call for him, and it would have been something that he needed maybe for his career, to be part of a club where he understands that he's not necessarily the main man. Like there's been people here before him that have done the job, that he's not that special, whereas PSG right now for the next 3 years, because no one's going to pay anything near what PSG don't even want the money for him. So for the next 3 years, he is going to, he's going to add to this, to this like ego of his, which might be good, might be bad, who knows. And then once Benzema is done in the next 3 years, he's going to step into Real Madrid and be the main man. Maybe it was, one of those chess moves that he needed to do, which is fantastic for him. But it just shows, the importance that PSG puts on a player like Mbappe, and obviously that will affect any coach that comes into it. And Pochettino, really, honestly, who has he had to work with? Lloris and and Son, who's probably amazing in the dressing room. Harry Kane, who doesn't really start any issues, jumping from that kettle of fish and going right into Neymar, Messi, Mbappe. Like it was never gonna work out. But what's next for him? I think, in my opinion, I would like Potch to kind of buy his time. I think the Premier League is kind of perfect for him. It's his playground. He knows what's going on. I mean, he did what he could with Tottenham to the best of his ability. I think he took them from a mid-table team to a team that competes with Arsenal for fourth place, and has gone far, even to a final in the Champions League. Hopefully Conte is going to try and build on from that. But whatever success Tottenham is going to have is down to what Pochettino built and the players that he brought in to make it the team that it is today. So I think that he plays well in the Premier League. I think a team like Wolves or even Everton, because I don't see Lampard staying at Everton for long. I don't think Lampard has the experience to keep Everton where they want to be. And I think, maybe in the next season or two, Lampard is going to go. Hopefully he surprises people, but I don't have faith in Lampard, the coach. So I think it would be a good fit for a guy like Potch, who has built a team and does know what he wants from his team and how to go forward with the players that he has, and maybe bring in players that can help and adjust to the system that he has and the kind of football that they Tottenham played amazing, beautiful, flowing football under Potch, and I think that he could bring that to any team in the Premier League and be successful. So he should probably just, buy his time, wait it out, and see how it goes. And I'm pretty sure that Mr. Potch is going to find the right team for him. But I think the Premier League is his best bet. If he goes to another league, it's probably not going to be as, successful, and that's probably what's going to happen. He's probably going to go to Spain. He's going to, go to Italy. But I think the Premier League is what is good for him. It seems in reports that Ferguson really wanted him at Man United before Ten Hag. So it will be interesting to see going forward what Potch does. But I think for me personally, Premier League, it is what it is for him. Moving on, outside of English football, we're going to Spain, and we're going to Anyway, Barcelona have just this week have what do you call it? They have announced or registered finally Christensen and Kessié. I don't know what's going on at Barcelona. Honestly, if you're a Barcelona fan, let me know in the comments, what is going on at Barcelona. At some points, they are they can buy players, then they cannot, then they're in debt, but no, they're not, because they keep buying players and offering this one has to take a pay cut, and there's so many things going on. There's so many different things that are happening. No one really knows what's happening. Now they have 75 million for Rafinha all of a sudden. They also have apparently 50 million for Lewandowski, who Bayern, who are being hilarious, are asking for the money up front because they don't believe Barcelona is going to be there in the next 2 years. So it's just I really don't know what's going on at Barcelona. Again, like I said, if you're a Barcelona fan, please let me know what on earth is going on. How is Barcelona affording to still be a club, to still be run, not to be hit with financial fair play? There's so much going on, and it's unbelievable. So let me know what you guys Barcelona fans know, or even if you're not a Barcelona fan but you know what's going on, let me know in the comments what you think is happening and how they're able to keep doing this, because man, to be honest, I don't know. I've tried to listen to experts on what's going on at Barcelona, but I have no clue. And it's just, it's very strange situation. Yes, Barcelona have been a big team for a very long time. They've been, part of the fabric of football and making football what it is today. But at the same time, I'm super worried about players that are going there, signing for 5 years. I mean, they put some ridiculous release clause on Christensen, which it's not even realistic. But anyway, we'll just have to see how this Barcelona situation pans out. I wish the best for Rafinha, because it seems like he's been holding out. It's his dream club. He's been holding out for a move, and it looks like they're going to make it happen. So good luck to him, and good luck to Barcelona. Moving on to the women's game, there's been some crazy stories, especially when it comes to us Africans, about age and footballers changing their age and things like that. But now we're talking about gender. Apparently the Zambian captain of the female football team, who the Zambians are playing in the WAFCON, as they call it now. So she's been suspended. She's been left out of the tournament because of a failed gender verification test. Barbara Banda, her name is. It's a strange one. And I think it's not because of any genitalia or anything like that. I think it's a testosterone level thing, which is a very strange conversation because, in other sports we've had the South African runner Caster Semenya have kind of a similar situation in her, they said that her testosterone is too high and blah, 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 and all of these things. And it's just it's a very strange kind of area to work in, and it looks like FIFA have decided that she doesn't have enough testosterone. Estrogen. Sorry, she has too much testosterone to be identified as a woman, or I don't know what the right wording is for this, but she has been told that she cannot play, and it's a strange one. Again, I don't know where to put this because we don't have all the information on why she was banned, and it just looks like FIFA have made this decision according to tests that have been done on the testosterone levels in her body and the lack of estrogen, and it's very strange to me. I'm not an expert in these things, but I'm guessing transgender athletes also have a similar issue, but they're being allowed to swim and run and fight in the MMA. I'm not really sure what the problem is, but it looks like she's gonna have to sit out the rest of the tournament, and it's unfortunate for her. It's unfortunate for the Zambian team, because I do think that the Zambian team have a really good chance of making it really far in this competition. Obviously, there's top teams that are doing super well, which we'll go on to talk about in a few minutes, because the full fixtures for the semi-finals have been set. But it's interesting to look at these kind of stories and wonder, is there maybe a bias? Is something going on where there's no clarification? Maybe because FIFA or the African Football Federation doesn't really know how to handle these things, because there is a lack of education when it comes to gender and things like that with what's going on in the world. Africans, we're not really there yet. We don't really understand a lot of this conversation that's going on, and I think part of it is ignorance. The other part is not wanting to know really, and just kind of saying women are women, men are men, and so it's just a weird dynamic, and it's unfortunate that Barbara, her name, sorry, Barbara has to kind of be fall under this what some would call an unfair situation. But we will see how it goes. Obviously, she's not going to play the tournament. After maybe after the tournament there will be a bigger conversation to be had, and people are going to want to talk about it more, and maybe it opens up this conversation on the continent for us to actually talk about players and gender and what that means for African sports moving forward. Anyway, speaking of the WAFCON, again, as they're calling it, which I think is not a great name, but WAFCON is on, and The group stages are almost finished, but the full fixtures for the semi-finals have been set. Morocco will face Botswana, which I definitely think Morocco are going to ease past Botswana. Zambia versus Senegal, that's going to be a tight one. But I think the Zambian team have enough to make it through. South Africa versus Tunisia. Tunisia have a good team, but the South African team have been looking amazing, especially with their display against Nigeria, how they worked as a team, how, the movement of play, like, it really is looking like they are the potential winners of this competition. I said in episode 2 or 3 that my money was on either South Africa or Nigeria, but after watching a few games or seeing a few highlights, I'm definitely seeing South Africa lifting this trophy. And the final semi-final would be Cameroon versus Nigeria. Two big nations in football. From the feminine side, not so great, but I think Nigeria might pull this one through. I definitely think that they have enough of experience, enough of a team that's able to push through and make it to the next round. We'll have to see. I will let you know how the matches have gone if you're not keeping up with the WAFCON. Again, I don't think it's a great name, but yes. Anyway, guys, let me know your comment. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about any of the topics that I've spoken about today. Whether Cristiano Ronaldo staying at Man United is a big deal or not. I don't know. United fans, what do you think? Raheem Sterling to Chelsea, is that a marquee signing? Who knows? Ten Hags 5 new rules. Potch, where does Potch go from here? Barcelona. I really need someone to tell me what's going on with Barcelona, because I have no idea. But let me know in the comments what you think. If you're listening on the podcast, please leave a review on Apple Podcasts. I'm not really sure how it works on Spotify and other places, but I will figure that out and let you know. Again, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And I will see you for episode 5. Have a wonderful week. Eid Mubarak to all my Muslim brothers and sisters, whoever's watching. I hope you had an amazing Eid. And I will see you guys for episode 5. Have a good one. I'm out. Peace.